Okay, I think we're set up here. Looking pretty good. Howdy, folks. Welcome back. And here we are at March 25th, 2022. And you can see we've had almost a full halo eruption off the sun here. And I went to stereo A, and it is coming in Earth's direction. It was also going in stereo A's direction as well. So that means it's kind of a glancing blow. It's going to go maybe in between us and stereo A. And we'll back up real quick and I'll show you stereo A for a second. And right there. Yeah, just give this a second to download real quick. We'll make it bigger for our screen here. There we go. I think we're looking a little bit better. Yeah, just bear with me for a second as this downloads real quick. And there we go. Now it's going. And this is from the side of the sun, not 90 degrees, not even 45 degrees. Stereo A is even closer to Earth now, so it's more like 23 to 30 degrees off the left-hand side of the sun from our vantage point. So when you see this halo effect here, let's see if we can get it to play again here. There we go. So this halo effect is coming towards stereo A as well as the other vantage point too. So we have a little inbound CME. It doesn't look like it's too much, but we're going to start off with that right there. And then something I want to point out here in this one, let's back up just a little bit, are these objects again. And a lot of people theorize there might be reflections inside the camera or whatever, but these things keep showing up at weird angles, weird different places and stuff, and they're not in line with the tube. I don't think these are reflections. These seem to be the objects that might be zipping around in the background. So I wanted to just kind of point out that frame right there. Other than that, on the 25th, there wasn't much going on there. Let's let it go forward here. And I believe this is Mercury right down below here, crossing in front of us, in between stereo A and the sun right now. And I'm not too worried or concerned about this object. I was just pointing out that we have a halo CME. And let's go back to our vantage point from Earth real quick. And once it uploads here, you'll see that the CME is also a halo on this vantage point as well. So we have an inbound CME here. Here it comes right there. Is it more kind of on the left hand side, but you can make out it goes around this way. So we are going to get kind of a glancing blow off of this one, I believe. And usually these take about 3 days until they reach Earth. So this is the 25th. I would imagine any kind of effect from this would be probably we'd be seeing around the 28th or something, but probably not much. It doesn't look like it's a big explosion. But since that one's taken too long here, and we already got to see the halo effect, I'm going to move on to the day before now. And this is the thumbnail that was on my video here. And I'm going to zoom into this, because this isn't a normal CME right here, folks. Okay? But this is some kind of ionized plasma. There is a bubble of plasma that's coming off the sun. It has a magnetic field and a bubble with all this solar wind coming off, which is plasma. And if something moves fast through it, it can ionize that plasma, just like a meteorite ionizes the atmosphere when it comes, or ionizes the air when it comes through our atmosphere. So I believe that this is an object streaking through the solar wind, the outer chromosphere of the sun. And I don't know if this is going to pick it up too well, but there's a little V indentation at the very tip of this thing, indicating there's some kind of object here, and there's a faint little streak down the middle of it. similar to what we've seen before, and I've shown you this object up close. The camera finally caught it up close about a month or two ago. I showed it to you in a video, but so we'll kind of pan back out of this one, and this is the 24th. This was yesterday, and just to put this one into motion here, and we'll let this loop play. There wasn't much going on that day. Small little burst down here, but nothing too bad. Just that one little streak was interesting because it was at a different angle. It's not at the same angle that material's coming off the sun, and it doesn't appear to be like some kind of reflection inside the camera. This appears to be some kind of object streaking past the sun and ionizing the plasma that's out there. Okay, so there's that. Okay, now let's go back even further. There's been about a week's worth of data that I need to go back over, and we'll go through some of these frame by frame. So here we go, and again, got another CME erupting over here. This is now the 22nd of March. So we went 25th, the 24th, now we're at the 22nd at this event right here. And we'll just let that loop play for a second. And 1 second, more of it. There we go. Now you guys can see it. In fact, I'm going to pull it right over here. Okay, and that way you guys can see. Here's our instrument reacting to it. You can see this kind of round effect right here, and we will pause it on that, because it appears there's some kind of object right here. Hopefully the camera's picking this up. Let me bring it over here just a little bit more. Bending and going over it, wrapping around it, giving that its three-dimensional, painting its three-dimensional shape. That flow right there is what I'm looking for. This is kind of obscured by the plasma that's streaking around it. You can't make out the object, but the shape of this gives it away. And then as we back out here a little bit, I want you to, oops, where'd my pointer go? This little illuminated streak right here is this streak over here. This is another plasma conduit. This object is sucking plasma off the surface of the sun, and here it is. This is a plasma conduit connected back to the sun. And I've shown you these before. Most of them are a little more defined, but in this one, we caught just a little bit of this plasma conduit coming off. You can see this is coming out, turning, going up and over and around. These are coming out, bending and going down around. There's some kind of round spherical object. Maybe it's smaller, and it's in here, and this is its magnetic field, or this is the bigger object. I'm not sure, but we have what looks to be two different objects. One right here, and then a smaller one here, like we've captured many times before. So, and this was on the 22nd here. Okay, I'll pull back out a little bit here and put it into motion again. And then just watch as it goes by how it's ripping. Oh, that was the last frame. This one doesn't show that as it leaves, but it shows it coming out right there. Planet X, yeah, well, there's more than one of these objects is what you're going to start discovering through this, because this is a bigger one, and I'm about to show other ones that happened just previous to this, so it's more than just one object, folks. So that was the 22nd. Now we're going to back up another day, and here's the 21st. And we'll let that loop play for a second. And I'm sure you guys will clearly see what's going on in this one. Okay, so we're looking at this big explosion. There was a big object right there, and then here's a smaller one trailing it. So let me start pausing it right about there. Okay, when you see, look at the spread of this right here. You can tell we have a bigger object somewhere around in here, and this might be its magnetic field. And as we kind of go through this a little bit, right there, I think, let's back up one, and I want you guys to look right here. There appears to be the round object right here in the front of this. Well, the seam out here now happens to be kind of more in the middle, but there seems to be some kind of round shape, some kind of round object. It has some kind of plasma streak coming back, connecting to something else back here. And then we'll go next frame. Hopefully the camera's picking this up. It's not too apparent in this, but it would be right here as this object moves out. And then we'll continue, because after that bigger one moves out, look at this thing down here. This doesn't even look like a sphere object. This looks more like a ship or some kind of. So watch as this thing comes squirting out the bottom here. It's got a weird V-shaped bow shock, a double one, and it appears there's some kind of smaller object right in there. Then, as this one starts to emerge, we got a round little object right in here, some kind of magnetic field going on around it, with the instrument reacting to it. And as it comes out and emerges, you can see it's right in here in this area. Skip a few frames because it, well, we just didn't have the data. But now it's right in this area right here. I think it's this round object. And let me move my hand out of the way. As we continue on out, you'll see here it is, this black round object. It still has this big chunk of plasma in front of it that it's taken with it from the sun. There's a good shot of it right there. You can clearly see the backside of this little small object right here. And of course, you can see how the, the trailing plasma and magnetic, lines and stuff all indicate that there's something that they're there. So let me back up. There's a good shot of it. Let me blow it up like this for you guys. I want you guys to see. All right, there we go. Here it is, right here, and it still has a big illuminated patch of plasma that's still on the front side of it that it's taken with it. But there's our object right in there. And let's back out a little more too. And then it moves out of frame, and you can see how all these field lines are the plasma still stretching back to something bigger. There we go. Now you can still see this V shape. This is still reacting to something a little bit bigger out here, the smaller object right there. And fan back out here. Finish off that one. So that was the 21st. Now let's go back another day to the 20th. And there's some more activity going on here. This one not so defined, but look up here. There seems to be another big round object up here, and we're going to pause it on that little part. If I can find my arrow again. Here we are. So right about here. Boom. Here again, you can see this round shape in the background here, and the plasma coming out, stretching out around it. Go a little frame by frame here. Right about there. You can see the curvature of this thing right in here. It's shrouded in this plasma that's covering it up, but the way it flows around this object paints the contour of it, and it's right there. There seemed to be a little thing here, a little thing, something squirts out down at the bottom here. Let's put it back into motion. Yeah, look how fast that thing squirts out right there. I want to pause on that real quick too, because it has an object in it as well. So right here, this one, everything's halfway out. This thing started back here and already passes it on its way out. And let's go right about there. And here we go again with this round little object right here. Here's plasma streaking back that it's pulling out. But here's our round little object right there. And that was on the this is on the 20th. Okay, so just one last one here before we wrap it up. I know some other people are going live and I don't want to miss it. So here we are back at the 18th, and we had another event here. And this one you can see, it picks up at the very end of the event right here. There's an object right in there. We'll zoom in on it, and then there's another one right behind it too. So, okay. Just back up a little bit. Here it starts right here. We have this V-shaped bow shock. Our object is right in here. As we move out, here it is. Here's the V-shaped bow shock going around its little magnetic field or whatever it's producing. Here's a good shot of it right there. Boom. Here's our little round object. Perfect V-shaped bow shock. That's reacting to some kind of magnetic field. These objects have a little small magnetic field of their own. So then it moves out of frame. We have all this stuff streaking across the screen here. I've never seen it go in this direction. Usually it's going a different direction, but here everything seems to be streaking from left to right. And you can even see the curvature of this plasma as it's coming back. It's tapering back like this, curving and going around the back side of that object. And then as it moves out, here comes another round one right here, and you can see the instruments reacting to it right there. So let's go a little bit more. And right here, you can see this object now. Let's blow this up a little bit for you. Right here, here's our object, pretty clear right there. And that was the one that was moving out, causing all this. Appears maybe there's some kind of bigger one, maybe right next to it. I don't know, but that one you can clearly see right there. So. And that was back on the 18th. So let me pull these back out a little bit more. So we're having activity almost every day. I mean, this was the 18th. We skipped the 19th. We did the 20th, 21st, 22nd. Skipped the 23rd. There was activity 24th, and the solar flare today on the 25th. So we've had a lot of activity going on the sun. Not a lot of these things are as clear as they sometimes are, but you can see that we have multiple objects, folks. It's not just one Planet X. This is like a segment of space that has a bunch of, stellar cores in it. I believe there's one of these is big enough to be a black hole, and we are looking at a black hole with a bunch of dead stellar cores now. I'm just trying to point out that there's this object, more than one object, keeps showing up, consecutive days in a row. So it appears that we have just more than one. And the activity is still just ramping up. I mean, it used to be a couple times a month or whatever, then turned a couple times a week. Now there's 2 objects in one day, multiple days in a row, multiple objects in multiple days. So, a lot going on around the sun. So I just wanted to bring that to you folks. I'm going to make this one short and sweet. We've got another live stream going on and I want to get over there. So I love you all. I just wanted to bring this to you while I had a moment and update you on the last week's worth of activity and let you know we got a small little CME heading our way in about 3 days on the 28th. So that's about it for now. I love you all. I miss you all. And until my next video, bye.